live in the dungeon. This is the Dream Warrior Review. I'm Kurt Thomas.
I'm Mick Strawn. This is Peppermint. Now,
Peppermint is a revenge story centering on a young mother who finds herself with nothing to lose and is now going to take her enemies.
the very life that they stole from her.
Yes. Take from her enemies.
Take from her enemies.
Not take her enemies.
Right.
Yes.
Yes.
Well, anyway, you get the idea. So basically, she's pissed off because something happens to her family, and she's taking revenge.
Right, and she's taking revenge.
I think that said it better than...
Yeah, and that was the whole film.
Basically.
Basically, it could have... You know, the commercial
it was
for
like
it was
Charles Bronson, Bruce Willis...
Yeah.
What's the one that we saw?
Hold on.
I keep it.
Hold on.
I wrote it down.
It's...
Death Wish.
Death Wish, right.
Yeah, it's like that movie Death Wish.
Oh, that just killed me right there. Okay.
It's like that movie Death Wish. Yes.
Except for nowhere near as good.
No.
You know what?
I didn't enjoy watching this. I actually kind of enjoyed watching it. I thought it was... it's what I expected from the trailer. I enjoyed it.
It was just...
I enjoyed watching it.
It was just the trailer. But
I think I had more fun watching this than The Nun.
Really? Really? You like this
just because I was in the mood. I guess I was in the mood for a straight up action movie when I went to see Peppermint.
Yeah.
And that's what I got.
Yeah. But for me, it was like really, really straightforward.
How did it compare to Death Wish? I mean, the reason why I brought that up because
I thought
similar in a lot of ways.
I thought Death Wish was better.
Well, Bruce Willis, I
thought it had more of a dynamic to it. I didn't. You know, the thing is there was. I think that the compression of her character and everybody else's character, it seems like everything that they actually did, if it had been compressed into one, day or something, it would have only been about 2 hours of the day. You know what I'm saying? I mean, everything that was involved was breaking into another house or getting a whole bunch of people together and shooting each other. And it was dark for the most part.
I guess it was predictable, except for like there's a certain point where you think she's going to stop and then she doesn't. Yeah. So I thought that was interesting.
Right.
Because she kept going even beyond
the point. And here's what I mean is, to me, the part that was the best was when she showed up at her friend's house.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Because there was like a point of a little bit of character. Yeah. Other than that, everybody just predictably played their role, and there was no arcs to anybody for anything.
Well, there was one twist.
Well, yeah, but that wasn't much of a twist.
But it was kind of a predictable twist.
Yeah, it was that. It was the twist that you go at the end and say, "Oh, well, that was kind of a red herring there, and it's the other guy." Right. And then that was it. And
well, any movie like this is going to have somebody who's good, ends up being bad, or vice versa. Right.
But and in the middle of it, there should be a couple of places where you can tell story and fill things in, but there's nothing to fill in. We saw it all at the beginning. We literally. I think that the problem to this one was is we knew everything in the beginning. Period. There was no reveals going anywhere along the line.
Yeah, like it's a mystery what happened. Like,
right.
They just showed you what happened. This is how she reacted to it. That's basically all it was.
That's exactly what it was.
Of course, they did leave out how she got so much training all of a sudden. I mean, it had been 5 years, but she was an assassin all of a sudden.
I know. And here's the thing, is that would have been interesting. Yeah. That would have...
one little tiny clip.
Little kind of
10 seconds, maybe?
Just here and there.
Here's a little hint.
It's like that part of it would have made it really interesting to have like put her in that character, even to have started her in that character would have been great.
Totally, yeah. They should have started with like kind of in the middle of the movie, basically, where she's doing something and then go back to the beginning. Like a lot of movies do that.
Yeah. Well, they kind of did
Bounce around
a little bit. But the thing is
flashbacks.
They were in the middle of the linearity of it. In other words,
well, it was just a linear movie with like flashbacks.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. And the thing is the only hinting that was there of that rest of the story, that's all you ever saw was the hinting. And I thought it would have been great if we had even started on one of those other
with some like her getting some training somewhere.
Right. See, that would have been cool.
And then kind of explaining something she's pissed off about something.
I just thought that there were so many places that they could have expanded.
So better screenplays, what you're saying.
Yeah. Writers.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, if they'd know what?
She was a really strong actress, and she was awesome in this. I thought, as far as what she had to work with, she was great.
Right, but there was nothing there.
Right.
It was. She's
good at kicking ass.
Snack food.
Yeah.
Snack food.
But how'd you feel about some of the action scenes? There were some decent scenes in there.
You know what I liked? The scene that I liked best of all, period, was the Ferris wheel at the beginning.
Yeah.
Right. That was great. Okay, I love the Ferris wheel, and I kind of liked the end, the very, 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 very end.
Right. Yeah.
You know, because I want to hear the rest of that story. I want to see. I think that they developed the possibility of an entire character with her that we never saw. We just saw a little bit of it.
Yeah, a little more backstory.
Yeah,
like how she got to where she was at the end.
I'll give you an example.
I mean, you see what she does, but you don't really see what's going on.
I'll give you an example with the writing thing. I think that it would have been better when we had a bad guy, right?
Yeah.
And he had a kid, and the kid came right into the middle of the run of the her right there, right?
Yeah.
And that kid and him could have been. We could have seen that a little bit earlier.
Oh, that would have been a great opening scene.
See, what I'm saying is...
And then maybe show it again later.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is so that we had, some sort of depth to some of the other characters. But other than that, everybody was kind of like wearing their story on their sleeve and just blasting away.
Right. Well, it's like a really good Gunsmoke
yeah,
show. You show something like some guy getting shot, and then you don't know why.
Right.
And then they show the opening credits.
Right.
And then they show the story that explains why you saw that.
Well, exactly. I mean, they had so many ways they could have gone non-linear that would have improved the story.
Well, I remember...
And they just kept tightening it up and holding it.
Yeah. Well, that Bruce Willis movie was pretty linear.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
I mean, but Death Wish, I mean, it's pretty linear.
Right, yeah.
But they did a better job with character development. That makes sense,
exactly. I mean...
Shit, this wasn't a character movie. It was an action movie, wasn't it? I mean...
Yeah, but you know what? I can have my objections.
Of course. No, I mean, you're talking me out of liking it as much as I thought.
Well, I'm not... yeah, I'm talking you out of liking it. No, it was...
I don't know, I mean... I was going in expecting a mediocre action movie, and it actually
and you got
a little bit better than mediocre, I would say.
Well, Jennifer Garner is, amazing.
Well, I think I texted you. I said, I want to see Jennifer kick ass.
Amazing. Oh, yes. But
they should have made all the actors look like your ex-husband.
Yes, and here's another thing is she was kind of alone in the peak of the acting there. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Is like a lot of times we had when we had to have subservient or secondary characters in it, there was not, what do they say in football? You know, we don't have a deep
bench. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't have a deep bench.
Yeah.
They didn't have a deep bench.
Yeah, there was a big gap between her and like
anybody else.
Little kids, especially.
Right. Exactly. So anyway, I mean, that's in the fun thing about it was, for me, was all of the locations that were actually locations.
Mm-hmm.
That I filmed in for my entire life.
Story time. It's story time with Mick. 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 Story time with Mick.
Spent spent so much time in like the 1st Street and the 4th Street Bridge and cleaning the areas. Like we used to have a truck. What you would do is you would say, well, we're going to film in an alley, right? And you would send in a cleaning crew and to clean the alley, and you'd take out all the trash cans and all the dumpsters and everything, and you would put in your own trash cans and your own dumpsters.
Wow.
And our dumpsters were clean.
It was probably safer.
But no, the whole point of it is that we would have dumpsters that looked just like the other dumpsters, only it was all done with paint,
right,
and stuff like that. And then we would drive there was sanitation trucks that would be basically a water truck, that a stainless steel water truck that carries disinfectant. It goes down the and just sprays, and just absolutely a solid spray. And we would disinfect the whole, and then we could put the newspapers, or we could put the crap and the junkies and all and we could, and then we would have to deal with the fact that everybody that lived up in the residence hotels that was up above us would throw shit at us, and I mean literally throw shit at us. So yeah, that was like.
Wow. So you had an umbrella.
Shooting downtown was a thing. Yeah, it really was. It was great. But yeah, you could walk down one of those alleys and it smelled like disinfectant. You go, wow.
That's crazy.
Never thought about that, did you?
No, I never did.
You never did. Yeah, well, that's that. That's
So I guess it'd be awesome to be homeless there, because you'd have your home disinfected every.
Yeah, and by awesome you mean what we would do is come down the line and throw your home away, and dump it, and then start fresh. Exactly. And I mean, and then we would have to go down and neutralize the graffiti.
Which sometimes can be really
dangerous.
Yeah.
Yes. We would neutralize graffiti, and the thing is we had this amazing thing called filmmakers immunity, which I don't understand filmmakers immunity at all, because I mean literally I've seen directors and DPs together, just step off of a curb, in the middle of traffic, and just walk into the middle of the street, with lenses. Both of them have lenses and looking around and stuff like this, and the cars are going all around them, all the rest of this. But it's that natural filmmakers immunity that keeps them safe. So I don't know what it is that gets that.
Is there an inoculation for that? Like a shot. It's like a B12 shot. Lasts for a week or so.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Immunity in a bottle. That's right.
In a bottle. Right.
But that's and we'd have to change all the signage out and make it look like generic places, and
I guess I have a problem with some graffiti that is created by.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh, filmmakers really over the history, filmmakers have made some really terrible graffiti. One thing that I've always tried to do is on my films, I always tried to just blur it completely, and and try to not make it look like anything at all, because making it look like like G-rated or whatever is just terrible.
There's a great movie. I'm trying to think of it. Yeah, Downtown 81.
Yeah,
that's a movie that I saw about graffiti. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, right.
But it's really interesting movie.
Well, we did hire. I was working on Breaking 2.
Yes.
We had to do the inside of the room, right? Which was completely graffiti.
The room that rotated, right?
The room that rotated, yeah. And the thing is we were acting on 2 of them. And so what we did is we took the 2 rooms, we took the room down, and we put one of them down here, and had this guy completely. And his name was Zodiac, right? And he was kind of famous in that period for being a New York guy, and we brought him from New York. And I swear, this guy, he has so much paint in his veins, paint in his body, right? He never used a mask, and he literally disappeared inside of an 8x8x8 room, right? 8x8x8, no ventilation, with 2 crates full of spray paints, and then he just stayed in there for 8 hours straight, spraying. And I mean, he literally just seeping out from the edges of it, and he wouldn't let me even open up the edges of the room, do anything like that. And the stuff that was coming out through little holes that were there in the room was actually blasting the whole room, the whole stage away. Right? And so then we had to go, and then we went in and pulled. The first coat that he did was all done on Luan, 1/4-inch Luan panels, and then we took those panels off while he duplicated it, took pictures of him, and he put the pictures up, and he did it again for the one down below where they start dancing in, and then they go up to the one in the room where so the 2 of them had to look the same. Wow. So he, both of those, he did the same thing. So it was like 16 hours over a 2-day period that he breathed nothing but paint.
Oof.
And he was
Did he have wild mood swings? Like
he incredible.
He was very happy when he was painting.
No idea. He was just absolutely crazed. I mean, he was literally as brain damaged as you can imagine.
Paint, like
It wasn't
literally.
huffing paint. It was.
Well,
it was like it was more.
Affected by it.
It was more. It was more like a fish in water than it was. So. What is a fish breathing in water? It's breathing the So the paint was the water.
Wow.
Yeah, it was bad. So, yeah, that's
well, there's oxygen.
Yeah, and while we were filming that, that was the first time that I met Globus and Gollum. I'd call them Globus and Gollum, the guys who owned Canon Films, and I was trying to talk to one of them, and I don't know which one I was talking to. They always hung around together, and I was saying, I'd really like to get a raise because, we've been just really doing killer hours on the stage. And he turned around and he said, there's 24 hours in a day, right? And then he went back to work, and so we took some hardware clips and C-clamps and actually C-clamped him to the 2 of them together. And then somebody came around and fake spilled some coffee on one of their laps, and they went down in a heap, and it was just great. But that's, there was while we were on that stage and doing the revolving room,
right.
At one point there was a PA they were trying to test to see, because we used the room on Nightmare on Elm Street. And
right.
And then reassembled it on the same stage like a month later. Put it back up and testing to see whether it was going to hit the grid up there, and the grip sent this. We sent this kid up to like measure the distance from there to the to the floor, the stage floor, which I think was like 32 feet or something like that, and the kid dropped the tape and hit the key grip on his shoulder right here like this. Now, a key grip in general is a beast, and this key grip, Alan Alterbrook, not Alan, I can't think of his last name, but he was a real beast, and he was going across the stage and he limped because he had one of his legs was fake from here down. And he was going across the stage, and all of a sudden he gets the tape bounces off of his shoulder. Boom! And man, I'm not kidding. It hit his shoulder, and the sound of it hitting his shoulder actually made me turn around to look. And I see the tape hits the ground, and it just stops. And Alan just stops. And he looks up. And this kid, and I look up, and here's this kid is absolutely head drained of color.
Yeah.
You know, his face, and he just looked terrified. And Alan goes, "You got to come down eventually." And keeps walking across the stage. And dude, we didn't get that guy down until Alan left. I mean, just, he wouldn't even come down. Even Alan couldn't talk him down. He was scared to death.
Wow.
Yeah.
That poor guy.
You know, it's a different world, you know. So, there's a Mick and a Mick and a Mick.
Yeah.
Mick story thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
That thing with the thing and the thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Did I grade this? I haven't, have I?
No.
I don't think either one of us have. Me, I'm giving this a 2.5.
That's kind of what I was going to do.
Well, I'm sorry.
Because I'm thinking like mediocre, but a little bit better than mediocre. So like, 2 would be the kind of in the middle.
Is it?
Of sucking good.
Oh, well then 1.8 for me.
I don't know.
In that case, 2.5 is middle.
I'm going to see your 2.5 and raise it 0.1. So 2.6.
2.5 and 2.6.
2.6 because Jennifer Gardner deserves an extra.
No, because she's Jennifer Gardner.
Yes.
That's right. We're going to, exactly.
Yep.
So,
and she's welcome to come on our show anytime.
That's right. At any time.
Talk about anything.
Anything.
Review a movie with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could come on. You know what? She could come on and sell my book, Behind the Screams.
There you go.
But you know what she'd do if she came on? She would say, Mick Strawn wrote this amazing book about Nightmare on Elm Street 4, and you need to go to behindthescreamsbook.com and buy a copy.
Or 3.
Or 4.
Actually, Christmas is coming up.
That's right.
Buy
Christmas
a ton of them.
Oh, if you have a fan if you know a fan who's into horror, I have got the thing for you.
Or a Halloween present.
Exactly. Or a Halloween present. It's that time of year.
Yes, it is.
It is. Okay. Do it. Do it now.
Thanks for joining us on the Dream Warrior Review podcast. Don't forget to tell your friends about us, follow us, and, of course, like us. We can be found on Podbean, which is an amazing app, YouTube, Stitcher, Alexa on any pod, iTunes, Google Play. We're on Twitter as well, at DW Review, and, of course, Facebook. You can find us there. You can also email us at dreamwarriorreview@gmail.com.